What up, though? This is Prophet, aka Ced Watson, representing all the cast-offs worldwide. You don't know what a cast-off is. A cast-off is being who you are, even when it's unpopular, when your thoughts and what you stand for is different than the crowd. You are a cast-off, and thank you for tuning in to the Ced Watson Show. So since you're here, please hit like on this video. Please hit subscribe and leave a comment. Leave multiple comments. I don't want your money. I just want you to help me get this video out to many people as possible, and you can do that by just hitting like and leaving a comment below. And thank y'all once again for tuning in to the Ced Watson Show. Quote of the day, or today's message: do what you know you should be doing, regardless of how you feel, even if you don't feel like doing it. A lot of times we let our feelings get in the way and miss out on opportunities. You think Kobe Bryant had $300 million in the bank and wanted to get up at 3 a.m. and run? You think he wanted to be out there with a torn rotator cuff, still shooting shots, practicing? He already got all these rings. He's still trying to be great. He didn't feel like doing that. This man rich with a beautiful wife, beautiful kids. And he did this because he had a goal and a vision and a dream. So he did what he know he had to do to be great, not what he felt like doing it. But a lot of times we get caught up in our feelings or the feelings of other people. So it might have been Kobe Bryant's wife, like, you need to spend more time with me and all that, which is cool, which is right. But other person's feelings controlling what we do will remove us from our purpose or our greatness. And so a lot of times we don't make the right decision we know we should make or what we really want to do because we worried about hurting somebody's feelings. And we lose our dreams, we lose our peace, worried about how somebody else feel. If our dreams don't come true, they gonna be just fine because those are our dreams. Those are our dreams, and they got their own problems, their own dreams. And if we let their feelings get in the way of what we really want in our dreams, we're going to lose all the way around because people going to do what's in their best interest. If they want your time because you make them feel good, they would take your time and you would lose that time pursuing what you should be doing to be the best version of yourself, to bring you peace and happiness. They would take that time because you make them feel good. And you will lose your dreams, worry about their feelings, if you're going to hurt their feelings or not. So you have to do what you know was right, regardless of how you feel and regardless of how they feel. If you want to be great, if you want to have inner peace, if you want to be the best version of yourself and walk in your purpose. Don't let your feelings get in the way and don't let their feelings get in the way. Because if you let their feelings get in the way, they're going to do what's in their best interest, and you will go to your deathbed with a whole bunch of regrets if you let your feelings get in the way. And so do what you know you should be doing and choose your purpose over your feelings, for real. Jaden Ivey, it's two things you're going to have to learn in life. One is a powerful scripture and one is a powerful quote. The scripture is, those without sin cast the first stone. And the quote is one of the golden rules. He who has the gold, make the rule. Now, one is a scripture that came from Jesus, right? The Pharisees, the religious people today, caught this woman in adultery. And they said, according to the law, we're supposed to stone her. Jesus, trying to trick Jesus into doing something. So they all had stones ready to stone this lady. Jesus ain't argue with them. He ain't debate. He simply just said, those without sin, cast the first stone. And one by one, all of them dropped their stones. And we could be those same Pharisees going against Jesus, ready to stone, when we nitpick and point out other people's flaws and other people's sin, using scriptures and doctrine, knowing we got sin and flaws in our own life. And we won't put that on Front Street, but we'll call out Steph Curry. He's not a real Christian. We'll call out Anthony Edwards. We'll call out the NBA, knowing we got our own stuff. That ain't Christ-like for real. And so we have to learn that. We turn a lot of people off being believers of Christ with our nose in the air. You do this, you do this, judgment, hell. And what about what we do? What about walking in love? What about forgiveness? What about doing unto others as you want done to you? What do Steph Curry got to do with this? To me, that's a slave mentality thing. He didn't cut you. The Bulls organization cut you. What do Steph Curry got to do with this? But instead, you pick up stones and you would stone a brother in Christ and say, you're not a devout Christian like me. And that's judgmental, and that's arrogant, and that's a Pharisee picking up a stone, ready to stone somebody knowing we do the exact same thing or something similar. And that's where you lose people. And I understand you're a young man. And a lot of people, when they find a new faith or something new, we be tyrants and we be overbearing and we want to share it. But that ain't how we get people in. That ain't how we bring people in the body of Christ. That ain't how we bring people to see things from our perspective. Just come out throwing stones, judgment, or we run people away. And so I just disagree with that. Take your stance and be like, whatever consequences that come with this, I'm not celebrating Pride Month. It's against my faith. Hey, if it's my NBA career, then so be it. Muhammad Ali refused to change his name. He refused to go to the Vietnam War. And I accept the consequences. The Viet Congs never called me nigga. And he dealt with the consequences. Man, you can't go dragging other people in your stuff. Anthony Edwards, it's all about money, of course. And that go back to the quote I said, that one of the golden rules, he who has the goal make the rule. Of course, it's always about money. You not playing basketball for free. You've been hurt for 2 years, and guess what? Your paychecks still came because it's about the money. This is $1 billion, trillion business. And we know a lot of the higher ups be homosexuals. And so all straight people don't buy tickets. They trying to sell tickets to homosexuals. And so they need the owners of these big companies to sponsor and put up money. They need them to put up the bread because it's about the money. It's a business. If it's just about the love of the game, bro, go to the rec league, go to the park where you grew up at and go hoop and ball out if it ain't about the money. Hey, man, the coaches got to get paid. The owners got to get paid. The people in the stands got to get paid. It's millions of jobs on this. And just because you disagree, man, we can't go against the people who cutting the check, who feeding all these people. And so the golden rule, he who has the gold make the rule. And so if this offend the person you working for, how you gonna bash out and point out somebody else? Whether I agree with it or not, I don't agree with Pride Month. I wouldn't wear no Pride shirt, but I ain't about to, get cut and then be like, it's all about the money. Of course, you playing basketball, you's a millionaire because it's a business. And so when you sign up for business stuff, these people rules. You got to go by it. And if you take a stand, hey, man, hats off. Take a stand. But don't go crying. It's all about the money. It's you getting paid from it, bro. So it is about the money. So don't cry it's about the money when you ain't played in 2 years and got paid. And that's what I mean by that. When you take these people money, you go by their rules. And I ain't saying you got to. Hey, if you want to hold your nuts, be a man, like, I ain't with that, bro. All right, take your lick and keep on pushing. Don't go crying, begging, and making all these excuses and throwing other people under the bus. That's weak. That's where you lost me at. Jaden Ivey. You're not Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is an all-pro. Anthony Edwards is a superstar in his league. He's a gold medalist. He carrying the franchise. Dude, you've been hurt your entire career. You barely in the NBA. You barely in the NBA, bro. And so if you barely in the NBA, you better shut up if you want to have your NBA career. Of course LeBron could say that. Of course Steph could say that. Of course Anthony Edwards. They bring in money. They pack out arenas because it is about the money. Ain't no arenas getting packed out to go see Jaden Ivey, bro. Man, the Pistons literally just traded you for a box of crackers. Now that dude ended up turning out being kind of cool. He ended up all right, but the Bulls didn't want him. They ain't getting no 3 first-round picks from you. For real. So you barely in the league as it is. And so don't get mad when the people who cut your check disagree with you and you really ain't bringing them in. The Chicago Bulls stadiums are not full to go see Jaden Ivey. So, of course, they'll put up with someone like Anthony Edwards. Arenas are packed. Anthony Edwards is a business within himself. So stop it, bro. Stop it. Stop it. And I done lost channels, everything because of the LBGT communities. And so I'm not on their side. if I was an NBA player or I refuse to wear a Pride Month shirt, I think it's crazy. Hey, I ain't saying what you saying is wrong. But what I'm saying is, when it's time to face some consequences, we want to bring Jesus in it. Man, Jesus died on that cross. He ain't point out nobody else. He ain't say too much. Hey, when he was on trial, he said, so they say. He ain't go back and make excuses or try to, he ain't get sympathy, nothing. So if we going to be Christ-like, that's how we got to go out. We can't go bringing Steph Curry and throwing more stones, being the people who we so-called hate for real. And so that's my take on the Jaden Ivey situation, for real. I seen a video with LeBron James saying how much he hate playing in Memphis and how much he hate playing in Minnesota. I don't have a problem with that. You have your preference. Like, it's cities I don't like going to. But when you say just move the team, you lost touch with reality. You've been rich too long. And I don't want to hear all this stuff, you from the hood, all that. Man, dude, you've been rich since you've been 17, 18 years old, and you're 41 now. So that is all gone, bro. All your friends and all where you live at, your kids go to school here, this is what you associate with. So stop, man, miss me with all that. Miss me with all that, you from the hood stuff. That stuff is gone, bro. You've been living the way you've been living for way more years than you was back here living, and you forgot how it feel to live like that. Plus you an athlete, so you always been privileged. So athletes always be spoiled brats. So for you to say a city shouldn't have a team, that means all the people who work there, all the hotels that benefit from that, all the people working the concession stands, the janitors, they all should lose their jobs in a predominantly black city. That's what you're saying. Black people should lose their job and take them to a white Nashville. That's what you're saying, LeBron. That's what you're saying. And I defend you a lot because I think you get treated unfairly, and I think it started because of Skip Bayless calling you LeBum and LeFlop. And anytime you do something good, here come the LeBron haters. But LeBron, they not bashing you because they saying you have to like those cities. But saying a team should move, that's like saying it's a business in a predominantly black city and they give all these people jobs. You saying they should go move to a white city and employ white people. That's what you're saying. You've been living amongst white people for so long. That's how you think. You think like them. And so you talk black, you live white, and you think green. And that's just majority of black people for real. Oh, I'm black and he's black and I'm black. But how many black businesses do you promote or do you support? A dude get a couple dollars, he go wearing Gucci and promoting Gucci and all this, and they ain't there paying them. And all these designers, they go and just live in these neighborhoods, ain't seen a nigga in years. And so that is you, LeBron. Yo, Jesters, look how you even talk now. It's like, kind of like feminized for real. And so I'm not knocking you, and I'm not here to bash you because you are one of the greatest basketball players I ever saw. I love how you built the school in Akron. I love all that. I love all that. But man, you saying all these people should lose their jobs because you don't like the hotel, bro. Man, unlame yourself, bro. You became one of them, bro. You are one of them now. You lost touch what it means to be a nigga for real. I know that sounds crazy, and I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna get it. But LeBron, you lost touch, bro. You lost touch. Pooh Shiesty, Rob, and Gucci, man, it just let me know, man, quit doing business with criminals. Quit doing business with criminals. It's a criminal mindset. A lot of times, we could change location, we could change our bank account, but you could take the criminal out of the criminal element, but you can't take the criminal out of them. You can take the brat out of a spoiled situation, but you can't take the brat out of the person. We can't change people, bro. Name Pooh Shiesty. And so one thing I learned, man, some people are entitled. You could take their life, take them out the projects, make them a millionaire, make their dreams come true, and it's not enough. Instead of looking at what they got. Now they looking at what you got. And I want what you got. Not what I agreed to. I want what you got. And I think instead of being grateful that this person gave me an opportunity that nobody else gave me, man, we'll slit that person's throat out of entitlement. You got this, I deserve this. Man, ain't nobody tell you to go to jail at the height of your career, bro. Ain't nobody tell you to go to jail. Ain't nobody tell you to be in the streets committing crimes when you getting $50,000 a show. And you could take the criminal out of the criminal environment, but you can't take the criminal out of a person because it's what we like a lot of times. It's what brings us energy. It's what brings us excitement. And sometimes when you take a person out of that and you give them a better life, it's boring to them. It's like that woman who been abused, who been manipulated, and they used to argue, fighting, fucking, and then fighting again, making up. And they think they want better, and then they get a good man who ain't no arguing, ain't no fighting, and that's boring to them because you could take a dysfunctional person out the dysfunction, but you can't take the dysfunction out of a dysfunctional person, no matter where you place them at. And so I run a business, and it's people who didn't have jobs. It's people who ain't have one quarter, and you could change their life. Now they got a new place, they got a new car, and then they get entitled like, I want what you got. Like, you won't put up what I put up to get what I got. You don't put the work in to get what I get. You start your own business. But instead, they start looking at you as an enemy. And ain't nothing worse than that jealous person, man. When that jealous person, that envy person in your circle, man, they'll slit your throat. They'll do you how Pooh Shiesty did Gucci Man. Hey, it was a Gucci Man before it was a Pooh Shiesty. It will be no Pooh Shiesty to the world once it's because of Gucci Man. And this is the thanks I get. You give somebody a platform, they use that platform to tear you down. You open up a door for that person, and they use that door to rob you. And so that's my thing. It's just the entitlement, bro. And then we wonder why people don't help people. Why people just get their money and disappear, close the door on niggas and say deuces. Because niggas, bro, just prey on the downfall of other black people. And that's my thoughts of the Pooh Shiesty situation for real. I had seen on the internet that Gyro City, Little Mikey got gunned down. Now, the first time I think I heard of Little Mikey and the internet and the world is from FBG Butter talking about Little Mikey, and a lot of other people were talking about him and a guy named Little B who used to dress up in wigs and like bums and go kill people. Stand over them and shoot them 50 times in the face. And according to the people on the camera, they say Little Mikey was right there doing it with Little B. So that's the person we dealing with, and did 13 years and got out. And when he came out, it seemed like he was fighting to be civil, but sometimes it's just in you, man. Sometimes, like I just said about the Pooh Shiesty Gucci Man situation, we could take the criminal out of the hood and the criminal element. We could give him $1 million. We could put him in the suburbs. They could become a dad, a husband, but we can't take the criminal out of a person. And it's just what a person like. It's just what floats their boat. It what gives them energy. It's what brings them joy. And so we see that he was slipping further and further. You argue with this person. You chase somebody with a gun. You threaten this person. Now you threatening this person. And you could just tell it was in him. And so all reports go to, this guy was a murderer. We heard stories about the guy, Little B, dressing up in wigs, standing over people, shooting their face off. And according to his friends and the vloggers, him and Little B was like this, and it was Little B went alone. It was Little Mikey standing over you, shooting you 50 times in your face. Even the people he was killing was talking about how much of a killer this guy was. So, and Trenches News talking about how Little Mikey was in jail fighting every day. And so it was in him. And so sometimes, man, when a person trying to do better, it just seems like they uncomfortable just trying to be decent for real. And it just seemed like that when he first came out, like, I just want to get my money and get my family. He was fighting it, man. But sometimes it's like a female who a whore, right? She playing the goody two-shoes role. She cooking meals for her husband. She covered up. And she fighting it. She trying her hardest. and she just fighting not to twerk. She just fighting not to bend over on the camera and twerk. She just fighting not to smoke that weed up and blow it in the camera. She just fighting not to go give her baby daddy some head while his best friend behind her back. She fighting that. And she just get tired of being covered up with the her job. And it take one thing to trigger. And now she twerking, smoking, and Mama brown, a pound time. Now she being hurt. Now she finally look free. And that's how little Mikey looked. Like he was trying to say the right things. And then when the little P situation, yeah, boom, it's going to be a boom. Like he just looked at free and happy. When him and Butter was, he just looked at happy. Like he looked at happy. He get like, it's just in some people, bro. And I actually liked it. I actually liked it, the kid, man. I actually liked it, him. And so I had asked King Yella what he think about him. And he liked him. He seemed like a very likable guy, but just sometimes people just, you know, everybody like, man, leader. And sometimes, man, listen, man, you take a fish and put him in a desert, he gonna flop around and not be great. You take a lion and you put him in the ocean, he might could swim, but ain't nothing special about him. But you reverse them and you put that lion in the jungle and he climbing up trees, catching animals and stuff like he in his element. And you take that fish and you put him in the ocean, he's swimming around being great. And so that's where little Mikey flourished. You put him in the hood around the gang members and the guns and the drama time, him. He could be everything he's gifted at and everything he know, you know, like this now he could be him and be the best version of himself in his mind. He's still a kid, man. I don't think the kid was 30 years old. And so until we renew our mind and our spirit, no matter how much jail time we do, no matter how much fame or money we get, we're going to be the same person doing the same thing until we change the way we think, until we change what we believe, until we change our spirit. And so we cannot change what we believe long as we believe in these street codes and the streets this and the streets that and all that. Like we have to change our belief system for real. Or we'll seem like we trying to change our life and keep going back and then get gunned down, you know. And in my opinion, it's a sad situation with little Mikey. So long live Lil Mikey, the Druski Skits. Hey, man, this guy imitate people better than anybody I have ever saw. It was a skit about a dude who had a bald spot, who was bald and was hat-fishing people. Man, that was so real. Just his whole, man, you know, like, man, I said, this dude is just studying people and could imitate it like no other. That was so dope, especially when he went to the club and he took it like, man, I sprayed his mouth. I done seen people do that. Another one was the jail skit. How dudes be in jail, like you know what I'm saying, in prison. And man, I told my nephew this the other day. My nephew got 35 to life, and he got so mad at me. Like, I ain't gonna lie. So one time I was going through it. I was behind all my bills. I was about to get evicted. I'm a single dad. I was just stressing and struggling. And so I'm looking at him, man, why he in the joint playing a video game? He's smoking, blowing the weed, they kicking it. And I'm like, man, I need to go take a break and go chill with him for a minute. We need to trade places. And I told him that, man, he got so mad at me. And Druski did that skit where he was like, I love it, and rapping, oh, I was like, man, he is really imitating this. And then he got on the phone like, Mom, you know, I'm gonna do the whole 10. Like, I said, what? That was so on point. Another one on point, it's the Mexicans. And then how he, the pastors. Oh my God, man, that's exactly how them pastors be. I'm walking in the blood and like, man, I said, oh my God, man, this dude is dead on. And then when he did Kirk's wife, I never know who she was. I had to go look her up and like, he got it dead on. Like, man. And so, man, that dude is a comedic genius, man. He is so, I ain't saying he do impersonations good like how certain comedians do, like Ari Spears and Tommy Davidson and stuff like that. But just him imitating regular everyday things and people is next level, man. All hats off to Druski. You Kountry Wayne was killing it with the skits. I liked when he was doing the rapper who Kountry Wayne was doing. And now his stuff then turned more into a soap opera now. And I was watching this interview with Kountry Wayne where he just and I watch it how much content he put out all day long. But Druski is next level, man. Druski is next level. I don't think nobody's skits I have ever saw is better than Druski Skits, for real. I interviewed King Yella, and I think what stood out in the interview, one, is I had a vision board and I had my goals wrote down. And the vision board was to have Ced Watson Show, one of the biggest shows in the world. And the first person I wanted to interview was King Yella. I had his name wrote down. And to have that vision come true and then me tell him that, personally, I think that was powerful. I think the second greatest thing came out that interview is when I asked him, would you go do 2 years in prison for $1 million? And he was like, no, man, I gotta be here to protect my kids, and this is life. I can make that $1 million. And just the response in the comments, of people opinions, some people man, run it. I done did it for free, and people didn't believe him because he'd been to jail so much, but he was definitely no, I don't want to sit in nobody's jail. I think that was a powerful moment in the interview. Another powerful moment was him talking about his friend Skeezy. I never heard the background, him talking about the block he grew up on, how he met FBG Duck, and when he talked about how FBG Duck and King Little J fell out about the accusations that Lil J was sleeping with Duck's mom. I always wondered what happened between FBG Duck and King Lil J, because it was an interview when he said, you know what you did. Duck was saying this about Lil J. He was like, you know what you did, but I'm going to take that to my grave. And I was I wonder what happened. And just to have full circle, knowing what happened like that, I always wondered that. That was a powerful moment for me. And then me asking him about the content creator he liked most between Lil Mikey and E-Dog, and he went he talk about Lil Mikey, then Lil Mikey get killed. And it was just that was a powerful moment for me. The D Rose and Michael Jordan comparison, when I thought he was gonna say Derrick Rose, because Derrick Rose is GD, he not too far from Yella where he grew up, but he said Michael Jordan, that's Michael Jordan, bro. And I think the most surprising thing is how he talked about Bow Wow, when he said Bow Wow is what influenced him to do music and stuff like that. And so it was a really great interview. I got a lot of props from it because I didn't ask the same typical questions that everybody else asked. It got to know how I feel to be a father and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I think it was a very great interview, and, and he appreciated it. He said, to me, that was the best interview that somebody has ever gave him, for real. Wasn't the same typical things. And so those are my takes from the King Yella interview.